In the last video, we had learned about what cryptography is. So as we know, in cryptography, we have a plain text. Then using an encryption algorithm, which has a key, we transform the plain text to ciphertext. And then using the same key or maybe a different key, we decrypt the data to get the plain text from the ciphertext. In modern crypto systems, the algorithm is mostly made public. However, the keys they needs to be secured. So there are two ways in which a key is used. One is symmetric crypto systems and the other is asymmetric crypto systems. Let us first understand what a symmetric crypto system is. In symmetric crypto systems, we use only one private key for a pair of users who want to transfer data. So let us first understand this. Suppose we have a user U1 and we have a different user U2. Okay. So in symmetric keys, both this pair they would have a common key. Let us say the key is K12. Okay. So K12 is the key which is used by the user U1 and U2 to encrypt data as well as decrypt data. Whenever U1 he is the sender, he is sending a file, he would use K12 to encrypt it. Okay. And then U2 he would use the same key underscore 1 underscore 2 to send the data where he would encrypt and he would decrypt the data. So in this way, in symmetric systems, there is only one key for two users, basically the sender and the receiver. And the same key is used to encrypt as well as decrypt. So what is the advantage? The major advantage of using symmetric key is it has very fast processing. It is considered that it is almost 1000 to 10,000 times more faster than asymmetric keys. So now what is the disadvantage or basically the drawback of using symmetric keys? The very first disadvantage or the drawback is how the keys are transferred or basically the distribution of keys. As there is no secured path and there is only one key which is used by the two, if the key is compromised, then the cryptography it is of no use, as anybody who has access to that key he would be able to decrypt it. The second thing is non-repudiation. Basically, as we know, the same key is used by user U1 and U2 also to decrypt. So we cannot say whether the file originated from U1 or U2. And the third one is the keys needs to be regenerated often. So for example, we know that user U1 and U2 they have one key itself, correct? Now suppose there is a different user U3 who is added to the system. In this case, he would require a different key for U2, let us say K23, and then a different key for U1, basically K13. Okay. So in this way, whenever a new user is added to the group, he would require maybe n-1 number of keys. Okay. So basically, we are not able to have a scalable system if we are using symmetric. So the formula is n into n-1 divided by 2. That the major drawbacks are, number one is the distribution of keys. Number second, symmetric algorithm, symmetric crypto system, it is not scalable. And the number third is there is no non-repudiation. Basically, we are not able to figure out who is the originator of the keys. So for all these drawbacks, a symmetric key provides a solution. So in this case, what we do is every user he will have two keys. One would be private key and the second would be public key. The public key is shared with all the users in the group and the private key is kept with the same user. So for example, let us consider this example. So there is one user U1, okay, and a different user U2. Okay. In this case, suppose U1 has a public key PU1 and private key PR1, and U2 he has PU2 and private 1. Okay. So in this system, the public key of PU1 it would be known to the user PU1 would be known to user U2. In the same way, PU2 it would be known to the user U1. Okay. So basically, all the users they have access to the public key of the different user. So in this case, whenever user U1 he wants to send data, he would encrypt using the public key of user 2. Okay. And when the user 2 receives the data from U1, he can encrypt it using his private key, okay, which is PV1. So the main thing to understand here is whenever a data is sent with a public key, then only using its corresponding private key the data can be encrypted. And the same can be done in the other way. If you are encrypting using a private key, then only its corresponding public key can decrypt the data. So in this way, if a different user is added to the group, suppose U3, then only the public key of U3 is shared with all the users, okay? And he would have his own private key PR3. So in this way, we can add a user simply by adding two keys, okay? So it is a scalable system. As if you have n number of users, you only need 2n number of keys. The second thing is the key distribution is easy. We are able to share the public key with all the users in the group, and if any of the public key is compromised, it is okay. We need to renew the keys only if a private key is compromised. Disadvantage of using symmetric is it is quite slow. Okay, so it takes a lot of time to decrypt and encrypt the data. So what do most of the applications do is if you have a large amount of data that needs to be transferred, first we create a secured channel using asymmetric keys. Okay, so where we share a public key, then using the private keys, we create a secured channel. Once secured channel is created, we will transfer the data using symmetric keys. So friends, this is how symmetric keys and asymmetric keys are used.